Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Chantele. And let's get into the Challenge USA episode 3.
But first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Happy Saturday, Chantele. How are you?
Happy Saturday. I love the Challenge USA. I've been starting off all the time I'm talking about this with I love this show. It just is so enjoyable to watch. It's just
And
enjoyable.
Thank goodness we have a show currently that we actually want to watch. Yes.
Yes, I'm in great spirits. I can't wait to talk about it. I want to hear your thoughts about it.
I know, right? Pumped. Yay! Well, let's get into it. Top of the episode algorithm. Hey, sir. Let's get into it. We've got pairs. David and Shannon.
David who?
Right. No, he's still on the show. Kyland and Angela. Derek and Shan. Ben and Kira. Enzo and Desi. Dom and Cache. Danny and Azza. Xavier and Kayla. Tyson and Alyssa. Cinco and Sarah. Leo, Justine, James, and Tasha. What are your thoughts right here when you're just getting these pairs?
Well, I was just trying to figure out where the producer messiness was going to come in. Mm-hmm. So I was just these pairs are all seemingly okay. There wasn't anything that really stood out as producers, you put them together to be messy. We could say that the producers like Kyland, because I'm wondering if the people that they choose to put with Tyson and put with Angela, if they're people that they want to see do well in the season. So right. I was kind of looking at that a little bit. So I was like, Alyssa and Tyson together, they must like Alyssa. That's kind of what I was thinking. And same for Kyland. So that's all that I was thinking at this point. But now looking back on the episode, there may have been things going on behind the scenes to make them put Dom and Cache together, because I didn't know that there was any drama there, but maybe
clearly
the producers knew.
Yeah, I think someone caught on that those two didn't get along, and that was for fun. My first takeaways here at this moment were more about these are strong teams, because we kind of talked last week about who can dethrone Tyson, and I think we said Cinco and Sarah. I think that was one of the ones we said, and boom, here they are. And maybe Kyland and Angela was also a possibility to do that. Obviously, we know Angela can do it. I personally hadn't considered Kyland, but I think the producers did. I think what you're saying is right. That's on me.
I know. I'm not. I'm not a Garland fan. Okay.
I didn't know he did CrossFit or whatever the heck he did, but obviously he did something.
Well, and training. He did say, just to remind us, and this is one reason why I feel for myself that Kyland has been redeemed a little bit this season, is because he put in some homework within watching the last 10 seasons of the challenge. So he has an idea of what he was going to be required of physically. And so I do think that he put in the work. And so I appreciate that. As much as I appreciate that with Tyson, I appreciate that with Kyland as well. So I'm giving him props there for sure.
Absolutely. Very, very true. All right, so we start pretty quickly. We're getting information about Amazing Race, right? They kind of opened the episode, and here they are again, and they're just kind of like, hey, why is everyone ganging up on us? Leave us alone. We're 3 people.
And we know that that's going to happen. And one thing that I've been kind of annoyed by the whole situation from even in the beginning, it's couldn't they just have even number from shows? I didn't understand why it had to have just such low representation with them. I mean, I guess because they're all players and they're going to play hard, so maybe putting them in kind of a deficit situation, they're going to try to work their magic to do well. But I felt bad for them from before the season started. I'm they have an uphill battle.
Yeah, when you have 9 people, 8 people, and then 3 people.
It doesn't make sense.
What? Balance it out a little bit.
7 across the board?
Yeah, maybe they had a harder time getting racers. Like, I don't
Well, I
know.
heard that Dusty is interested in the challenge,
Oh, he'd have been
so
great.
he would have been great, I would think. And like, it doesn't seem to matter that people were from the same season because the entire cookout is on this season. So there were people from the Amazing Race, Dusty, who just what I thought was, a shining light, sort of. On, like he definitely had
Well,
some moments on the Amazing Race.
I mean, physically, he's a great fit for this show. So I would have
Hmm.
liked to have seen that for sure. I do know two racers that dropped out last minute, and
Ooh, are we allowed to
that
know this, or is it top secret?
I don't know if it's out there.
Okay.
So an actual team
Okay.
dropped out last minute, and that gave us one of these three racers.
Okay. Gotcha.
So it sounds like there was a bit of a scramble last minute, and they should have had more racers to start. But like, there were gonna be four, and they replaced two with one. So
were they
already
not alternates or no? Because I
didn't
don't
hear about
remember even
alternates.
like alternates. Like some people that were alternates were from like Love Island that I remember.
It's already out there then.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about. Lulu and
Thanks,
Lala
Kelly.
were both gonna be on, and they dropped
That would have been
out.
helpful. I think that would have been great, honestly. Just like to have, well, just more Amazing Race representation.
Oh
that would
yeah,
have been fun.
but I can't believe they replaced two people with just one. Like, that's annoying.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
All right. Okay.
Mhm.
Anyway, so obviously I'm at this point going, oh boy, Amazing Race is like the theme of this episode. So
Yeah, worried.
I'm buckled up. But then we see Shannon and Derek. What do I call him? I call him DX still.
Yeah, DX
but I
works
guess
for me.
Technically he's just Derek on the
He
show.
is a Derek. There's no other Derek's on the season. He can have his name back.
Look, she's not deviously plotting, Chantele. She's not.
It's just really funny. I think that Shan doesn't think that anybody's seen her season, or that anybody like can't see through her.
Did she
game.
see her season? Did she see the edit? Did
Maybe
she see the
didn't.
Shantham?
Maybe she didn't. I love that it's called a Shantham. I think that is pretty epic that she's like part of like the vault of Survivor from this. I think that's really cool. But like, I'm not doing anything. I'm just trying to get to know people.
People say this about me, but like, no, I'm just friendly. And you're like, what? We've seen you play. Like,
and then you see her also like in other shots, like whispering, being like, "Look at Tyson and Angela."
Yeah, they think they're being stealth. They're not being stealth. Like, yeah, girl, we're watching you.
And Kiki, what's his name's wife? Kiki doesn't want her to go too far in this game. So I'm curious how that's going to unfold, since we have more confessionals from Danny's wife, basically, that we have from David.
Yeah. So, who? David's on the show? Then we see Tasha and James. She's like, I want to win. I don't want to let you down. And they're just kind of talking about how they'll work well together. Positivity.
I was pumped. I was like, wouldn't this be great if they won and I got some power? And like, I would love to see what they would do. That's what I was feeling.
I was over the moon at this pairing. Tasha is one of my all-time faves. I just was so excited to be able to watch her again. What?
Do we know her sign?
Oh, you know what? I don't know her sign. Do I want to say it's Capricorn, though?
Ooh, I mean, I can see that for sure. I
think she's an early January birthday, but I might be making that up because I don't remember. But yeah, I was like, yes, this is amazing. I love these two together, and didn't realize that it was going to go horribly.
Oh my gosh. I definitely was not the duo that I thought was going to end in this way. I really didn't. I was like, they're going to be successful.
Oh, it's going to be so
triumphant. The first time the Amazing Racers are going to have power in this game, and like people are going to be coming to them. So I really thought that was the direction it was going to go in, because we saw the little Amazing Race powwow in the beginning. So I was like, okay, like they're going to figure out something. They're going to gather some numbers and figure things out. Yeah.
That I was right there with you.
I mean, it could also have been wishful thinking because we like them both so much.
Exactly. We can see no other options. We love our faves. What are we going to do? Cache. Okay. Cache, she's focused on Cinco. instead of the game. That's what we're hearing. We see the footage of her just doing some girl chat.
Yeah, with Sarah in the bed. And
But
this
that
is
happens on every show. That happens on every show.
Absolutely. And I don't know if Dom hasn't watched the challenge, but Messy is part of the challenge algorithm. Like, they make sure they put you, either your partner is going to be your rival, it's somebody that you hate, someone that you used to date, someone that you were married to. Like, they want Messy. And so the fact that they brought all these people from a love show, and especially a dating couple that just broke up, like, and also another person like Cashel, he wasn't on the original cast. He was like a replacement that came in, and that was because him and Kira used to be exes. So they want the mess. And so the fact that Dom was just getting so upset by the fact that, she's not, your head's not in the game, it's like, this is also what you have to navigate on the challenge.
Right. But I see that they're not a good match. He works one way, she works another. Okay, that is what I was thinking. Okay, great. Capricorn, no wonder I love her. Yes, but what we're seeing here is like Dom ain't about it. He doesn't have time for girl talk. He doesn't want to be paired up with her, basically. Tyson and Angela. The convening of the two heads of two snakes. I don't know. What is this? The leader?
Yeah, figureheads of each gender that's being represented on this show, I guess.
Yes. Yeah. I don't mean they're snakes. I'm just saying they're running it.
I mean, they're going to be a snake. I think they'd love to be a snake if they win the game. Like, who cares?
Whatever it takes, right?
Yep.
So maybe this makes sense for the challenge, but this is a new way for me to think. But now we hear Tyson and Angela talking about getting rid of the weak players so that they're not partnered with them.
So
that's new to me.
This is not necessarily new to the challenge. It happens sometimes. It depends on what the format of the season is. But what generally happens is people coast all the way to the end, and then they never have to go down or anything like that. And then you have, sometimes in the final, you have to run with some people. So like you switch off with partners and you have different partners. And sometimes having a bad partner can lose you the whole season. So I think what they're doing is they're trying to avoid that. And then also at the same time, they don't want to come in last place by having one of these maybe weak links to take them into last place where they have to go into elimination automatically. And so I think they're just trying to prevent themselves from automatically going into elimination, which ensures that they will get to the end at the, most likely get to compete at the end. And for those two, I feel it as though they're confident in their abilities to know that they could beat anybody in the final. So they're not like worried about like, oh, I don't want to have the tough competitors in the end. I think that they think they can beat them. They just don't want to be thrown into the elimination automatically.
Yeah. I mean, if they were for some reason to get into elimination, I feel like they could beat whoever to stay.
But it's risky. It's always risky.
But I guess it's risky. But to the same point, it's risky to go in the final against these people. Like, you might lose.
It's a little bit less risky because the final, it's going to be a lot of maybe long distance running. You might have to climb a mountain. There's like certain things that you most likely will have to do. In the elimination, it could be something a lot more random that you can just screw up on. And in the final, like it's like usually over 2 days, like you have time to make up. And so it's just a little bit easier to redeem yourself in the final as opposed to like your one shot in the elimination, in my opinion.
Okay. Well, I trust you. And I somewhat trust Tyson and Angela here.
Well, also they don't want people to gang up on them as well, because we also know that, like, say there was like a winner season, you wouldn't be like, oh, let's target the winners, because like, well, then if I was a winner, they'd be targeting me next. So I think it's also to remove the target from them a little bit as well.
All right. Well, this is when Shan is like, they ain't stealth. I'm watching them. Okay. All right, let's go
about it, Shan.
Yeah, what are you going to do about it? The daily is hang on, man. It's basically a big old hangman. But there were so many layers to it that I watched this twice anyway, but I was like, wait, what is even this challenge? But we got someone balancing, we got someone running, but they all ran it first to get the stairs. The stairs is a puzzle. Thank you, Angela, for noticing that. Kylan was like, what?
That's typical challenge, though. Most stair, and in the Survivor too. The stairs are like usually a puzzle.
So that someone's balancing. We're gonna go get letters. We got to figure out a phrase, but it's like Hangman. If you don't have the letter, you're gonna bring back a sandbag. Okay, and if you fall, you're out. We get the Shanthem, literally in the edit. I loved this moment with Tyson and Alyssa. Tyson's like, people think they biked 12 miles or ran 12 miles.
That's just a warm up.
And then Alyssa's like, that's me.
I thought it was a very cute moment. I thought that how he recovered it. It was like, that's just a warm up. And he was like,
that was you. Well, that is just a warm up.
Yeah. I thought they worked well together for the most part. I think that she likes him a lot, and I think he doesn't mind her for sure. I like them as a partnership. I'm hoping this means that they're going to be working together moving down the road.
Yeah, and the more that I talk to people who have been eliminated, the more I'm getting or I'm learning and getting the sense that Alyssa and Derek made it known that they were not Big Brother loyal. So these kind of partnerships, I think, Alyssa's like, hey, Tyson, I'm here to get some people back over on the VB side. So.
Yeah, just be like, if you want to take out a Big Brother person, I'm not going to be upset about it. Don't worry.
Not gonna worry about that.
I'm not going to retaliate.
Okay. So we kind of get like people are running and we're set up like Sarah's like, some people are walking already. I'm going to intimidate them. But then Tasha is like, no, we're doing just fine. It's going to work out in the long run.
I was hoping it was going to work out in the long run. I really was.
Of course
I really was. But it wasn't. It didn't.
It did not. But not because of the running or running out of time. Okay.
Because of a game mechanic that I think was flawed.
Oh, okay. Do you want to talk about that, or you want?
Well, just for the fact. So, sorry, say again.
Or do you want to wait till we go through it? Go ahead.
You'll go through it. Go through it. We can talk about it then.
Okay. Well, we see like Kylan and Angela do the first part first. So they're building their stairs to get up there, and they're starting this last part. Ben's strategy with RSTL and E. We see.
Ben, I was like, Ben, you like Wheel of Fortune? I love Wheel of Fortune. I got a point.
James said he had the same strategy. He picked an E first as well. Guess what? His phrase didn't have an E.
Brutal.
Exactly. So same strategy. So the runners we see are Leo, Kylan, Enzo, Tyson, Ben, Derek, Kayla, James. James and Tasha, it seems like they are doing the stairs maybe last. James and Tasha made it seem in their exit interview like they were not really far behind, that this was all edit. I was surprised that Azza was running and Danny was balancing. Were you surprised about that at all?
I'm just assuming that because Azza is kind of like a gazelle, she's just, but like a little bit awkward. Like I think that maybe they're worried about
a long stride.
Yeah, long arms, long limbs, a little bit awkward. I don't know, like. She's beautiful, statuesque, and kind of graceful in that way, maybe standing, but in kind of maneuvering her body, she could be a little bit awkward. And I think they're probably worried about her being able to balance the weight.
Being off balance. Okay. Interesting.
That's my guess. Or maybe she's like, oh, I don't have any upper body strength, so I don't want to carry anything like that. Which that's also
true.
Possible.
That's true. She's got very thin arms.
I mean, but it was not the correct
I was like,
choice.
I don't know that Azza runs. Maybe she's like, I did a lot of cardio, but I didn't build up arm muscle. So, James, they don't have an E for you. He's got to come back with the first sandbag. Hooks it on for Tasha. And he says, you good? And then he just steps away from the bag.
I know, like,
"Bo, bo, bo."
I was like, he was so being careful with it, and he was like lowering it down and really kind of like, keeping the weight so it wouldn't be a big drastic, pull.
Yeah.
And then it seems like he had a little bit more to go, but then he just let it go. And it was it was unexpected because she thought, Paul, that she was at the bottom of the weight when there's still a little bit more to go.
Right.
And I guess that maybe Tasha's never been a waitress before because, like, when you're a waitress and people take beer off your tray, like being able to keep it stable is what I was thinking when that happened. But
well, it's easier for us to see because they're editing it with, a Tyson who like literally is like he is like holding it until just to make sure she doesn't bobble at all.
Especially
whereas James
really
thought he was helping it, but
it just needed like a half an inch more, I think.
Right.
And it would have
that
been fine.
Last second, was just enough to sort of knock her off balance. And so boom, that's it. They're out.
And so the game flaw that I thought was like it also ruined the rest of the challenge for everybody else because it was only a race to win now because somebody's already going directly into elimination. So I feel as though, yes, like I can see why they would want to have like an easy way to determine who was last, but I think it might have been better like the last person to solve their puzzle because then everybody would have been still competing this whole time. Like maybe if they drop their sandbag, they have to go and start like again and run back. I don't know, let's do something else. But the fact that like the bottom, as soon as they dropped it, they were out of the competition and then it was a race for first place. And there's a lot of people that didn't really have to try at that point.
I see. I didn't even think about that. So you're saying some people, because we do hear them say like someone dropped.
Yeah.
So now those people can just like come off the gas.
Doesn't matter. Exactly.
Don't have to push for it. If they're not, we really have two teams in the lead here. Those teams have to fight for it, but the rest can sort of just
conserve their energy. Another thing too, a lot of like people that are, are regular veterans of the challenge. They're like, well, if I might have to go into elimination, I want to conserve my energy. I don't want to gas myself up if I'm not even going to be able to win. And so I think it just took a little bit of the, intensity of this daily away just because we knew that as soon as they fell, like nobody else really had to try anymore.
Do we know if there was a consequence if they guessed the phrase incorrectly? Because when
they might be able to do it again.
We looked at Kylan's letters and you're pretty sure that's going to be Finland, right?
Yes.
He puts an F up there and you're like, this has to be Finland. And he ran back for the L instead of guessing. Then when he had the L, it was like, this is confirmation, it's Finland. And then he guessed. And I just wondered if he could have just guessed just in case. If he got it wrong, could he still run back for an L kind of thing?
I mean, I think if he got it wrong, he would have to, it would be almost as if he got a letter wrong, I guess.
Oh,
and so maybe bring back a sandbag. That would be my guess. Yeah, an extra trip and an extra sandbag.
Well, so we see him do his whatever, something in Finland phrase, and Ben is like right on his heels, and he has his candles from Canada phrase, but Kylan is gunning it, and Ben is like, I'm running, and I'm like, but are you? You look like you're in slow motion next to Kylan.
Who is Ben's partner again?
Kira.
Yeah, I remember Kira was in second. I actually was kind of rooting for Ben and Kira to win this one. I think it's just because 100. I 100% you were?
Yes.
I did not want Kylan to win this for the reasons, but
I don't know if I was rooting against anyone. I just was really rooting for Ben at this point. Shocker. I mean, he had been so cute about Kira. He was like, these Love Island girls, like they've got it. He was like being more positive towards them than we've been hearing. And I kind of dug that. And plus Ben is like older and, he's been around the block a couple times. So I was like, for sure, it would be so fun to have them win.
Yes, I totally agree. And I was like, oh, I don't think they're going to be able to do it because they were a little bit more behind than the edit. It was making it appear. And so I was not surprised in the end when.
Yeah. But I am happy for Angela. I think this is a really good show for Angela, and I'm enjoying her on it.
So pumped. One of my drafts, like I got Tyson and Angela. I'm like,
Oh,
yes,
what?
my male and female first picks.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness, that's so good. I haven't checked on the Nerdtainment draft. I'm so sorry, guys.
Oh, you did
Uh,
what? Who do you have on
I
your
have
team?
it with. I have no idea.
Your patron?
Uh, I have it with our Discord with the patrons. Yeah, and I completely forget who I even drafted. Although I
David?
believe it was somebody. Somebody's already out that I had. Who went out the first week? I think
Well, oh,
the
first
woman,
week.
Sally. Was that her name?
Sally.
I think she was like
Aw.
one of my like the last pick. I didn't know her, and so I just like took her, but that already didn't work out. All right, here we go. Kyland and Angela have won. Tyson's happy if Angela wins. He is like one and the same with her. Hi, JoJo. Dom, this episode made
Jojo.
me realize why he lost the final tribal council.
Actually,
Yeah,
that's very, very, very true. I was
it
thinking that
all
to
comes
myself
back
as
to
well,
you.
because it
Mhm.
all went to the third person and how Laurel made like how she felt, and she felt better with Wendell. And so 100% Jojo, you are right there.
Well, Tyson and Angela are going to touch base here, and they're going to talk about the weak players like they set us up for. And they mention Dom and Cachet and David and Shannon. And I'm like, yes, David and Shannon. Obviously, David and Shannon. If that's our strategy, again, that's new to me, but David and Shannon for sure.
I mean, sometimes
What's
you'd want to
happening?
maybe keep some of these weak players in case you go on in automatically and you're like, and you want to
Right.
call out somebody. So it really depends. But I think that they're just trying to preserve the stronger players, and it's going to make them become stronger because people are going to be more fearing of them the more that they win. So I think they're just trying to make themselves like the boogeyman. Like you can't touch Tyson or Angela. I think that's
Mm,
why they're going for the weak players as well.
hmm.
I definitely thought David and Shannon was the route to go, but I
Yeah.
was also considering the fact that James had that connection week with Shannon, and like he was like motivating her to stay, and he did all that work to get them to not be thrown in that first week. So I think that they
Right.
might have bonded that they didn't really show us more of, maybe, and that's why he didn't want to go against Shannon necessarily.
Well, he did, you guys. James wants to make it very clear that he did want to go against David and Shannon. He is good friends with Shannon. And so he would have been sad to see Shannon go. But his connection with Leo actually is a little more. And,
Stronger.
he was a little disappointed by this edit because they really pushed that he was pushing for Leo when that's not the case. Like, obviously, he has to talk about all the options,
Mm-hmm.
but the one that he and Tasha actually pushed for was David and Shannon.
They would
And
have 100% have won, I think, if they had gone
of
with those two.
course.
100%.
Well, we see this conversation with James and Dom here at this point where James is saying, I don't want to go against you, Dom. I'd rather go against Leo and get Justine's money. And I was like, what?
Leave her money alone.
What are you saying, James? But we also have to take into consideration he's talking to Dom. He's not going to be like, yeah, Dom, let's go.
True, and I did think that have people having bank would make them a little bit more like alluring. Absolutely. I just think that Justine is quite strong and she's tall. So I just would be a little bit worried about going against her. And then Leo's your friend and he's part of your Amazing Grace trio. So like leave them alone.
And like, I don't, like, Leo's good. Leo is a very strong player. I was like, you're not guaranteed to beat Leo, James. Like, I think James is a strong player, but like, that's not a guarantee
David's a
that you
guarantee.
are right. David's a guarantee. I didn't think Dom and Cash were a guarantee. I didn't think Leo and Justine were a guarantee. Like, those, you're just like, ooh, this is risky if you go up against them. But here in this deliberation conversation, it kind of we're given the sense that Big Brother players aren't an option. And like, we don't even see that discussion here.
But I don't think that Angela cares about David. So
No.
I don't
Mm-mm.
know if I don't know how that didn't end up being the play.
I don't either, because if you watch the exit interview I did with James and Tasha, when I asked this question about, I said, do you think that David was being protected by Big Brother? They both laughed. They were like, no, no. I was like, oh, that's an answer.
Well, and even
like,
Shannon she had a confessional about David during the daily, and she's like, yeah, like he doesn't really have any connections. Like nobody's really, like, we need to do well because we're not really protected.
Yeah. I really would have liked to have seen that conversation, because James and Tasha thought it was going to be David and Shannon at the end. Like this was a surprise to everybody. So what we do see in this deliberation is that Sarah and Cinco are taken off the table. But the Dom and Cash,
I wouldn't want Sarah necessarily
well,
gone.
that's not a weak team if that's what you're going for.
Exactly. And like maybe Tyson wouldn't be that happy with that. So maybe Dom and Tyson aren't good. And we haven't seen that, because why would Tyson be okay to let Dom go potentially? Like, is Cache that much of a pariah that like that everybody needs to get her out? It doesn't seem like that in her confessionals that she's hated. So I'm still confused by that decision. Hopefully we'll get some clarity next week.
Yeah. You got a good point there. I didn't think about that, but I bet you Tyson and Angela conversation is what pushed it towards Dom. I bet Tyson is like, this is the time to take out Dom.
Well, maybe because Dom, maybe he is Survivor, but maybe Angela wouldn't want to necessarily run with him or like be partnered with him. So maybe she's like, I'd rather be partnered with David than Dom. Maybe that was just literally it.
Dom wants to compete. He's ready. He doesn't really feel like he's in the game yet. Get him in the arena so he can really feel like he's competing on the challenge. And bless Cache, she's like, no, honey, that you need to play smart. And the way he was like, no. He was, like you saw in the steam go, I played Survivor.
You know who I am?
Yeah.
Like, I know the strategy. Like, you're on a love show. Like, oh my God. Like, she was right. I thought she was completely right. Don't be going around saying that you're ready to go win. Throw me, like, I know that you're throwing me in. I know it's going to be me. I'm going to be ready. I'm ready to go down. I'm ready to compete. Like, and she's like, can you maybe just like stop saying that, because it's coming back around that you are ready to go in, and I don't know if that's playing smart.
Right. Well, he can't handle someone else telling him that, and so he's going to
someone female. Do we think?
Well, yeah, I think female, but also a Love Island. I think he thinks he's, above Love Island as a Survivor player. Be like, dude, honestly,
I came second in Survivor.
If I was a Survivor player, I would lord that over everybody I've ever met ever. Like, I don't care. I don't care if you went on Big Brother. You sat in a house for 3 months. I don't care. I was on an island starving. Like, I think all of them have the right to do that to a point, Like, it's so much harder.
It's very hard, but like, she's also correct. Like, you know what I mean?
No, I'm not. Yes. I hear you. Absolutely. I just think Survivor players can just like walk into a room
gloat a little bit. They definitely have the harder show.
Yeah.
It's also for the most money. So.
Okay. James is now going to tell Leo that he doesn't want to go against Tom.
James, no. That's like, James.
Well, like, what
are you doing?
Why is this still happening? What?
So James was in another chat though, and I believe that he did say that he watched this episode with Leo, and that they were kind of laughing at the edit because they really made it seem a lot worse than it actually was. But when I'm watching it, I'm like, James, this is your guy. And now Leo's going to go and tell Kayla, and Kayla's going to think that you're being a little bit shady. And like, I understand wanting to get in with the Survivor people and like wanting to be adopted by them. Like, that totally makes sense, but you can't turn on your amazing race people.
James. No, you can't. And it's very unlike James to be saying all this stuff. It didn't seem right. And I think, the edit was kind of pointing us in a different direction. I mean, he also does say here, like, I don't want to go against you either, Leo. But it kind of seems like they're trying to be like, oh, Amazing Race isn't actually sticking together, is what the edit wants us to think here.
And I
But
was
they're
like,
fine, guys. They are fine.
I know, I believe that they're probably fine because they're all game players, and yeah, I think that they would be fine. But I'd be worried for James, like if he had made it back, if they were going to be welcoming him with open arms, or if they would be a little bit like, got one eye on you.
Right. Like, can we trust you kind of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, let's go to the arena because that's what's going to happen here. Plug and play. Got a big old thing of water. Got to undo some.
Well, Plug wasn't part of Dom's interpretation of this challenge.
He completely missed the title and the rules to this challenge whatsoever. We got to undo these like stone, they're probably plastic, but these little rocks, take them out, and the other person is going to stack them. This was edited, I'm going to say poorly. Like, this was confusing to watch the edit because we're just watching the water go, Dom being an idiot. If someone is screaming, plug the water, Dom is not hearing it.
I heard that Shannon said that they were all screaming at him to plug the hole. So
you have to imagine they were, right?
I'm wondering if Dom just wasn't listening and he could only hear Cinco because he had some words about Cinco in social media this past week. But like
Cinco is the reason they won.
Yeah, of course. Like Cinco being like, just be steady, just be steady. You got this. You got this. Focus. Like that's a coach from the sidelines is like you're giving him all the credit. Is the reason
the one? Okay.
What about in gymnastics when there's a coach on the sidelines? It's like, like,
yeah. Okay, no, he gets the gold medal for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. All the credit. All the credit. You didn't actually have to perform.
Yeah, no, he's complete. You have to. I mean, they're all yelling stuff. James and Tasha did mention that like too many people are yelling. They're not able to filter what is important to them and what and Tasha hear what James is saying to her and vice versa. So
but that's with them. Like it didn't seem like Dom and Cachet were communicating really that much at all. So no. I just was shocked by when like it was kind of near the end and Cachet is kind of putting up the last piece and he's just standing there kind of looking at it and he could just have his foot on that plug. Like I don't know why he just like was just watching. Like it seems to me like he wanted them to fail because he wanted to be right that she was a bad competitor or something. That's what it feels like.
You think Dom wanted to lose?
Kinda.
Oh, wow. You think he was like throwing it?
Kinda.
Oh, wow. Maybe because he was like, get me in there. I want to fight and compete. And then he did poorly. Maybe like, he was trying to get off the show.
The tank thing, like, which is the way that you could sabotage without it really looking like you sabotage. I don't know. It did not seem like somebody who really wanted to win, stay, and be there. So
yeah,
just none of it. Like even just like you'd be panicked and looking around, like what can I do? Like how can I help you? Like, and then you would remember the water going down from here because like the reason why he didn't want Cachet in there was he thought that he'd be faster in the water, and she's like, well, I could do the water because the water's going to be going down, so I'll be okay. And so like they know that the water is going to be going down. So I don't know. That's my
he knows that the water is going to be doing. TJ said you can plug it up to help the water not go down because once it hits the line, you're disqualified. Done. And he is looking at her build, and then he's looking at James' water tank up to here. But he's either completely missing James and he's just looking at Tasha's stack, or he's throwing the comp. You're right. He might have been trying to get off the show. But we don't get to see what Tasha's doing, really. We're just seeing the water go. And I'm writing questions for Dom right now about why you did all these crazy things. Why do you hate her? I've got my interview for him ready. And then boom, TJ blows a horn and Dom and Cachet have won.
I was shocked. I was like screaming at the end. I was like, it just felt like he was sabotaging. Like, and that's part of why I was just so mad about it because like he didn't like her from the whole episode. Like he didn't like when she was telling him, tips and techniques. She said like, well, let's see if for who's right about like this decision to put like, I think he was just trying to one up her a little bit and like lose it for her just to like humble her or something like that. I don't know, like teach her a lesson. I don't know. It just didn't seem like somebody that really wanted to be there and win with their partner at all costs.
Well, she single-handedly won this comp. Like, she
No,
did that.
Cinco.
I mean, maybe Cinco gave her some important piece of information, but she's the one who stacked them. And what Tasha revealed, because again, we don't even get to see what the heck's happening over here. I don't know what's the struggle on the other side, but Tasha is 5'3". She's shorter than me. And she said they didn't realize you need height to stack. So she was struggling to get the higher blocks. That was their problem. Had they swapped, James would have had an easier time. But then who knows? Tasha might have missed the plugging the thing. I don't know.
I don't think so. I mean, if you're going down to elimination, usually that's the one thing that you can really control, and most people would have plugged the hole, because you also get to like ask questions about it. They don't show it, but like there's a lot of explanation.
Given the rules, right? Exactly. You learn how to play the challenge. Like, we're used to this. Hello, they've all done this in a different show before. Like,
so the fact that he completely forgot after he was just explained what he had to do
the entire time.
I
would have, if I were throwing it though, I would have put my foot on the pipe, but like to the side.
But then, but now he could say like, I could my brain fart.
Well, then the blame is on you.
It is all on it.
If you had lost, you can't say, yeah, she screwed it up. Like, this is my, I was right. You're not a good competitor. When it's like, no, you're the one who made the mistake. I don't know. Not a good look for Dom, period, on this. But boom, yeah, here we are. James and Tasha are eliminated.
Oh, it was really, really sad. Like, I didn't want either of those teams to lose. I was definitely rooting for Cachet, and obviously both Tasha and James were favorites of mine on their respective seasons. So
right,
I was bummed. It really, really was.
Ooh, let's see. Dom did an interview with Wendell and Bryce. He tries to explain that he heard the rules wrong and poorly speaking to Cash throughout the whole episode. Not sure. It's enough though. Yeah.
Heard the rules wrong? So wait, brain fart, heard the rules wrong, throwing the competition. Which one? Like, which one's the easiest to make sense?
I mean, take your pick. All of it's on his shoulders. So if you can't hear correctly, what's wrong with you? I don't know. Yeah. So that was a bummer. The upside is I got to talk to Tasha for the first time in my life, and I was like, "Oh my god, I love you so much." Now? We're not, but I really loved it. But also, if you guys haven't watched the exit interview with them, please do so. They do give us some good insight. But I'm scheduling with James currently to do a deep dive interview with him to talk through all 3 episodes, his entire experience on the show. That'll probably be on Tuesday.
About Miami as well.
Maybe we'll throw in
Alyssa's birthday in Miami and the strip.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what else we can talk about. But I'm looking forward to that because he has mentioned there's so much that wasn't in the edit. He had, another alliance. There was a lot more strategy that we weren't seeing. So I'm excited to hear more about that.
Me too. I'll definitely be tuning into that because I love insider information, especially from a strategist. So
yes. Yeah. Well, now what? Like, honestly, James was the star of the first 3 episodes. So, like, where are we headed now?
It looks like maybe Shan might become the new star because I don't know. Or she's going to have her big episode and then either succeed or fizzle. I'm not sure. It seems like they are setting something up with Shan and Danny. Like, it seems like something has to come to a head there. It seems like something has to go with BB23 and the cookout, Alyssa and Derek versus the leftover cookout. So those are 2 storylines that definitely need to come to a head. And then potentially also a Sarah versus Angela might need to come to a head just because most people feel that those are the 2 strongest women. So it would be best to put them against each other and get at least one of them out. So those are the storylines that I'm following right now.
We still have so many people there. How does this work?
Well, there might be a purge. No, I mean, the main season is usually 18 episodes or 19 episodes. It's like 5.5 months. It's really long.
Oh, wow.
This one I think is going to be normal. Maybe a normal 13 is what I'm making. Maybe 10 to 13 is my guess. But sometimes what they do is a purge. And so a purge is kind of, maybe 5 episodes in where more than just 2 people go home. It'll be like, if you don't make it to, it's like maybe it's a mini final where they have to like climb a mountain, and the bottom 4 people that don't get to the top of the mountain in time, they're out of the game, stuff like that. So there might be a purge of some sort. And that could get rid of a lot of these extraneous people.
Right. Will we get to season 2, or do I have to now go watch the MTV version? Like, what am
I? I don't think you're gonna like the MTV version, though.
No, I don't want to do
it. You don't know the people really.
It makes me do it.
That's what I think is really fun about the challenge, is that you get to see these people that you know from other shows come on. So you don't watch the other shows really, so it might not be interesting for you.
Yeah,
but the format, if you like the format, then you could get into it.
I'm down for season 2 of this, and I'm very excited to see whatever the international competition version, because our winner is going to go against the challenge, Brazil,
Argentina,
the challenge.
Argentina, UK, and Australia.
Oh, is that it? Okay. It was like Poland, I don't know, all of them, Finland, Canada, all of them.
Canada. No, so just those other 3 countries, which I'm pretty excited about, just because I know a lot of the reality TV people from Australia. I've seen a lot of those shows. Definitely know a lot from the UK. I don't know any from Argentina, but I enjoy the challenge enough to be able to watch people I don't know.
I love the Australian versions of all of this. Do we know? Have you heard about when those air or anything? Like,
I have not. I believe Australia has cast, I believe, or they're in the process of casting. So I would assume that filming has either started for one of them, or we should be starting for at least one of the other 3 seasons. And then I would expect maybe a fall airing. And then maybe New Year for like the world, everybody against each other.
The international version. I've been told or read that it's just the winner.
The winners, yeah. So
is it a man and woman winner?
Correct.
Okay, so 2 from each country will go.
That's what it seems, and it's rumored. Also, I don't know. Whoa. Oh my God, that would be amazing.
Are they doing a South Africa one?
No, they're not. They are not doing a South Africa one, but that would be a great duo, Hundo, Percento. Maybe they could, because they're all on 10 play, maybe they could get over there. I don't know how the cast is going to go.
Haley for everything.
I know, Aquarius. Yes, Aquarius power. January 27th. Go Haley.
Oh yeah, August 1st. That's coming up soon. Snake in the Grass.
Snake in the Grass, or she's in Traders? Oh no, she's Snake in the Grass. She's Snake in the Grass. Yes.
I'm 100% watching. I got to get Peacock or something because I don't have. What is it? USA? What is it? What is this network?
We're Canadian. We don't know.
We're gonna get it for you.
I have Peacock. I have Peacock.
Okay. Yeah.
But I don't have you. I mean, I guess I could. I could use my dad's Cox account.
No, I don't have USA. Like I don't even know where that exists.
Oh, USA is like a separate thing? Okay. I wasn't sure if it was like.
It's a mysterious network that like I don't know that anyone has. Yeah. But I don't know. It's not like a CBS. It's not.
No, okay. I wasn't sure if it was just something I didn't know about, but okay. Nobody knows about it.
I don't know where to find it either. So Peacock it is. We'll figure it out. But I'm going to definitely watch it and recap it with somebody. Okay, great.
Chantele, fine, because like I mean, I'm into it. I'm really excited.
Big Brother is taking.
I'm not watching Big Brother. I mean, I'll do anytime. I'll do another like tarot, whatever. Like, because I thought was really fun, but like, unless it's going on to do some like a recap or live feed update and stuff like that, like, I'm not gonna do it on my own channel. Maybe I'll do like a mid-season update, but
check-in, a jury check-in or something.
Yeah.
I do want to look back at who we said was going to be pre-jury now that like the twist has happened and things are a little different.
Yes. And thank you for going through and time stamping everything. I just copied and pasted yours.
Oh, good. Yes. That took way too long. But
why did it take so long though?
It's just a lot.
Oh, it just
had We just had so many. I was just like, every 5 minutes, basically, we moved on to someone else. So I was like,
okay, yeah, it is a little bit laborious, but like it's not too challenging.
But worth it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put in like the actual like the cards, and you could copy and paste mine after if you want.
Yeah.
Because
that was fun. If you guys didn't see that, the astrology of the house guest was a lot of fun, and we pulled cards. So we have some predictions.
Yes.
All right. Well, I love the challenge, even though I'm sad about some people who are going, but there's still a plenty of people to root for here. And, you know, if it's a Tyson and Angela show, I'm all for that as well.
I'm all for that. Like, catch me if you can. Catch me if you can.
They're killing it for sure. All right. And then keep an eye out for Deep Dive with James coming up this week. Nice. Is there something coming up for you this week that you
just if you subscribe and ring that bell, I go live all the time doing Love Island USA and UK daily or whenever it airs. Also doing obviously the challenge with you on Saturdays, with the boys on Fridays, with Michelle and Matthew on Wednesdays. Still doing a little bit of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills on Thursdays at noon. And I'm probably and The Bachelorette on Tuesdays, and also Amazing Race Canada on Tuesdays.
Oh, yay.
So, a lot. So the easiest thing is just to ring that bell, and so you just get notified and be like, oh, she's live now. I'll watch.
Yes. Gosh, lots going on over there. Yes, Big Brother is actually a 2-hour episode tomorrow, Sunday, because they're making up for Thursday's eviction and the normal Sunday episode. So tomorrow will be a big old bulk of that. And I do want to see how this bestie twist and everything plays out. So
I will be doing the live feed updates on update on Monday this week. So
Monday,
I'm the Monday girl this week. So
great.
I'll be live with Taryn to talk about these house guests.
We love that. All right, everybody in the chat, thank you so much for joining us. You guys make this so much fun. And if you're joining us later, please leave us a comment. Let us know how you're feeling about these pairs. How did you feel about James and Tasha? And what's your theory on Dom? You got to tell us.
Am I right or am I right?
All right, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.